Act 1 implies there's going to be a second act, right?
True North Review, True North Reviews, True North Reviews.
Hey there, welcome to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we are discussing the Imagine Dragons album, Mercury Act 1. This is the fifth record by the Las Vegas pop rock band Imagine Dragons. They're coming off what I would say is their worst album to date in Origins, just a horrendous record chocked full of production gaffes and songwriting misfires. Now, 3 years removed, I am delighted to see Imagine Dragons wait this long in order to come back. Dan and the group took some time off to enjoy their family life and life in general. The band then returned earlier in 2021 on a true single, an A-side and B-side entitled Follow You and Cutthroat, respectively. Cutthroat being a good indication of the album and what we were in for, a very loud and aggressive performance over top of boisterous production. Some will be surprised to see Rick Rubin as the executive producer on this record, but as far as course correction goes, I think if anyone could help redirect Imagine Dragons to some better songwriting and putting the conceptual puzzle pieces together, Rick would be the safe bet. Of course, I thought the similar production style on Cutthroat compared to Origins would be cause for concern coming into this new record, but fortunately its overblown quality is way more refreshing as it drives home the energy and vibe of this track, as well as some others. Emphasis on some. We'll come back to those other tracks later, but for now let's start from the beginning of this record. The track My Life starts it off, and boy does it sure start it off on a high. This has got to be one of the best songs Imagine Dragons have released in quite some time, definitely one of their best opening tracks on a record. I say that knowing very well that it will likely fly under the radar and be underrated, but I love the heavy themes of substance abuse and loss that are explored on this track and throughout the record. My Life in particular highlights its emotional sentiments with some strings as well as a raw arena rock outro. With this, it's easy to picture bands like Coldplay or U2 doing something like this, but like I said, a great opening track for Imagine Dragons. Maintaining a fast start for the record, Lonely is the name of the second cut. It's definitely poppier with its bass recording and programming. The track also makes use of vocal counter melodies, and the song sounds like it could have been written for Kesha in the same way that Dan's already written for her on My Own Dance. Returning to the emotional aspects on Mercury Act 1, a good portion of it actually is very impassioned, especially the song Wrecked, which was written in reflection of the passing of Dan's sister-in-law due to cancer. The tune here is very solid, Dan's screams are among the more palatable on the record here, and it's a nice change of pace to hear a little more guitar on this song. Certainly, we know Imagine Dragons have been moving away from guitar more and more recently on their albums, but I think the presence of guitar and really just the backing members in general are felt to a greater extent on this record. The closing track, for example, One Day, removes the drums, but what is left is a guitar arrangement and some vocal doubling and tripling from Dan, thankfully limited to the gentle and tame variety. This is obviously in contrast to the more aggressive style vocals on Giants and Dull Knives, the former having explosive drums with cymbal crashes akin to early X-Ambassadors, but also this questionable vocal choice to scream in the chorus and bridge. I'm not kidding you, they sound like they could be in a metal band's discography, and that's putting it nicely because most casual listeners will immediately skip after hearing the pitch-shifted harmonies. It goes without saying, Giants is a giant mess of a track, despite the clear attempt of Dan wearing his heart on his sleeve. Mind you, the passion is there, I just don't see many people buying in on what's being sold. The same goes for the cut Dull Knives. It's again this untamed, borderline screamo rock song, but this time it's complemented by some quieter passages. To be honest, I never expected Imagine Dragons to do a track like this again. It's been since Friction on Smoke and Mirrors since they've done anything remotely as chaotic as Dull Knives. Sure, its vocals are off-putting and unpleasant, but I'm here for the guitar and drums that round out this lo-fi jam session. Moving on from there, Monday is one of the highlights on the project in my opinion. It starts this streak of songs about love, be it for romantic purposes or for self-love even. What I appreciate about Monday though is its rattling programmed synth leads. The track is essentially electro-funk that may have you think of artists like Prince. Even a part of me wants to compare Monday to an older Imagine Dragons song, Yesterday, not because of its title, but Monday sounds like it could have been on Evolve, except it has tightened up the songwriting and is way more compelling than most songs on that record. Look, I don't see many songs comparing to the towering outro on Monday alone, but if there is a more contemporary comparison, 21 Pilots' Saturday comes to mind. Continuing with the romantic side of things on Mercury Act 1, Follow You is a true lovey-dovey song. What it lacks in lyrical originality, it more than makes up for with infectious qualities thanks to its ascending and descending melodies. Granted, the track may be high on commercial gloss and infatuated with inoffensive production choices, but the tune is amazing, okay? The same themes of romance also translate well to the self-love tracks on this record, such as number 1, which has this captivating chorus and an off-kilter drum pattern. If you can excuse the mantra of it's okay to be not okay, It's Okay is actually a decent song on this record as well. The only crime being here that it's a cheesy song when the instrumental is great, the bass has a unique tone, there's a great melody and progression to it. Even the singing might call to mind Night Visions, it's got that instantly memorable feel and sound to it. Same with the track No Time for Toxic People, which is poppy enough that it could land on Evolve. And then that just leaves Easy Come, Easy Go as the final track I've yet to mention. I'd say it lands somewhere in the middle, literally in the track list, but also in terms of quality. Make no mistake, the breathy and overdubbed falsettos could take some getting used to, along with the bass that sounds pretty muddy in the mix, but despite the faux rap verse, Dan channels his feelings of separation and loss into a heartfelt tune. Overall, I think most Imagine Dragons fans will be pleased with this record. The guitar and drums make their roaring return as Mercury Act 1 is the most consistent rock-influenced album the band has released since Smoke and Mirrors. Sonically, it's all over the place like Imagine Dragons have typically been in the past. They tend to pick and choose their subgenres on an album, but it's nice to hear some consistency regained, at least in terms of quality over the length of a full record. Arguably, Mercury Act 1 is also the most thematically focused since Smoke and Mirrors as well. Mind you, the concepts on Evolve and Origins were basically non-existent. I don't even think there were meant to be any concepts for those records. But on top of the thematic focus, I think Imagine Dragons have come through on Mercury Act 1 and have crafted their best work in almost 10 years, so I'm feeling good about this one. I'm feeling a 7 out of 10. There you have it, there's the album review for today. Make sure you guys sound off down below in the comments. Tell me what you guys think of this music, whether you agree or disagree. I'm here to engage with you guys. If you'd like to leave a like, subscribe if you're new in town, I'd appreciate that as always. Thanks for watching, and have a rockin' day.